Hey guys, Lard here. In previous video, as you can see, we have achieved the fact that our enemy follows us, and he has a green light. He has a red lightsaber, and we have a green lightsaber. So we've got that going for us. He now looks like someone we would attack. I wonder what that thing is. It looks like a lightsaber, but it's not the one that he has. Let's try to investigate this. Interesting, because he still has the lightsaber, but there's one in the air. And I have no idea why. So if I move him... Yeah. For some reason I just placed the lightsaber there as well. Maybe there's a bug with the enemy. Okay, so he doesn't see us. Now that he sees us, he immediately goes to us. It's all working fine. Let's try and see if we can make him attack us. So let's examine our third-person character class, right? So third-person character, that's the guy. Okay, so what do we do here is when attack input action is pressed, we check if we're attacking. If we're not, we're doing the attack thing. Okay, good. So what we can do is actually make a new event here. So let's make a custom event. Call it attack. And now we have a custom event attack doing the attack. So then you would ask me, well, where do we go with our input action? Let's improve our architecture a little bit in the way that we go to our third person, what is it? LCC player controller, yeah, that's the guy. And for now we don't have a code here, but it would only make sense that we try to minimize the amount of player-specific logic in third-person character, because it's also used in the child class by our bot. Now, LCC player controller is the thing which is always assigned to a player, because it's a player controller. AI has AI controllers, not player controllers. So here we can do input attack, and when it's pressed, we get controlled pawn. And then we cast this guy to third-person character. And if the cast is successful, we go ahead and do attack. Okay, simple as this. So we made our logic a little bit more complicated. And make sure, if you see this kind of warning, it's because you made an event, but you didn't compile the blueprint at least once after you made an event. After I did it, the warnings are gone, and we can start playing. So now the thing is, everything will be the same, of course. But what we have now is we have an opportunity for, our guy is gonna move slowly in a weird fashion, that's fine. Yeah, so what we have now is we've got an opportunity to ask our bot to attack as well. So let's see how do we do it. Let's go to our LCC behavior tree and look at our logic. First of all, we will need some kind of attack distance. And if we're closer than attack distance, then we're attacking. And when I say we, I mean the bot, of course. So let's take our third-person character. Let's put their third-person character for the bot and open it. And here let's take attack distance. And it will be a float variable. And it will be public, so now we can, even if we want, we can edit it in the game world right here in the details. So attack distance. Okay, so let's put this something like 400, which is 4 meters. And now we will need to make some logic in LCCBT. So the way how we will make it is that we move to the target as long as we are further away from the target than the attack distance. As soon as the attack distance is or attack distance condition is met, we're gonna go ahead and attack. So we will need the decorator, which checks if if we are close enough to attack, and then we will need to have an attack task. So both of those are easy to make. First, let's make an attack task real quick. So again, BT task, blueprint base, this guy. Attack BT task. Okay. For now, let's see, if we go to LCBT, we have a target entry, so it makes sense for us now to add it as an input entry. So target entry, and we will maybe use this later when we will have abilities which target the guy, for example, I don't know, force lightning or whatever. So for now, this will be a Blackboard key selector, and we will not be using it in code. So usually you would put the target entry here when we will be adding this node in the behavior tree. But for now, receive execute AI, and then we have control pawn attack. Have to cast first, of course. We don't need to cast to bot, we can just cast to the normal third-person character. And this guy will do attack. Now you will notice there is one thing about it, is that, of course, attack BT task is something that takes time. Because you attack, if you go back here, you attack, and then on completed, you kind of finish the attack, right? And then this node should wait for it. But for now, let's make it so that it's atomic. So it attacks and then it does the finish execute. So it immediately finishes the execution after the attack. Let's see how this works and what kind of problems we will face with this. Okay, so we've done this. Now let's go ahead and make a decorator. So the decorator will be, of course, BT dec. Blueprint base is in attack distance. Okay, so this guy checks whether we are close enough for the bot to attack, and this guy assumes that the bot has the pawn, which is the third-person character bot class. So perform condition check AI, we override it, and also we'll need a variable which will be our target entry. Once again, we need to get the target to check the distance from it or to it. Again, it's a public thing, so we get this guy as actor, get Blackboard value as actor, and we don't need to cast it to anything, but we need to cast ourselves to third-person character bot. Now, once again, you can do a pure cast here if you're sure it's a bot, right? There's no other option. Okay, so if the guy is a bot, we can get his attack distance. And then the returning value, which is a boolean, we just compare. We say, what is the distance between distance to? There's this really handy node which checks the distance between actors. So is distance between us smaller or equal? And this includes, by the way, the capsule radius and everything else for now. So is it smaller or equal than attack distance? And this is the result, right? Is in attack distance, or is close enough to attack. You can call whatever you want. Now we go here, LCCBT, we have all the things we need. So in this selector we'll add one more guy, which will be, for now we just do attack, but he will have a decorator which will be is in attack distance, right? And make sure that the target entry is switched to target, because it may have different one. Target entry is target on both of those. Okay, and this guy will also abort lower priority. So how this will work now is that this will be false, so it will go here. And by the way, this needs, yeah, so let's make it a bit more nice. So this selector only works when we have a target, and two possibilities are here. If the target is in attack distance, so you see we're branching more, then we attack. Otherwise, we just do move to until this guy aborts it, right? So let's see what happens. Hey, wake up. You can see that he attacks as fast as possible. That's already pretty good. Okay, one problem is that he doesn't quite stop his attack. Yeah, okay, and the other problem, of course, is that we're not facing him, or rather he's not facing us when he's trying to attack. So let's quickly fix it. There are several ways to do it. Let's have this one way. So when we're going to attack, let's go here and let's have an argument for this guy. So attack function will take a target argument, right? Oops, sorry. Sorry again, I have to readjust my window. Right, so it will have a target which will be an actor. Now we will check. So let's do sequence here. Sequence, and the second thing we will be doing in sequence is the one thing that we were doing as always, so we will be attacking. Actually, first of all, we will have to check, you know, does it make sense to even try to attack? And if it does, then we will do these things in sequence. So second thing is what we did all the time. But the first one, before that, we will take the target, check if it's valid. The reason why we do it is that if we're calling attack from the player controller, we will not have a target, so we'll not care about this logic at all. Its logic is only for bots. So if the bot has a target passed here as an attack argument, what we will do is we will get actor location of the target. Again, this is like the dirtiest way to do it, but it will work at least. So find look at rotation. So we want to say, okay, if we, let's get our location. If we want to look at this guy, which rotation we will have? And then we would do set actor rotation, just like that. So we will immediately jump our rotation towards him. And is an attack distance, yeah, let's go here. So now our target entry will be useful for us, right? Get as actor and put him here. So let's see what happens now. He takes his lightsaber, he turns towards us. So you can see, even though we didn't care to make attack node really take time. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, so you will have funky business here, because if we're higher than him, of course, he will turn up. So let's make this a quick fix as well. Go back to third-person character and make sure that we're only rotating by Z. So return node split struct, and here split struct. We assume that roll and pitch will always be 0, because this is, you know, up, down, and also rotate in other axes as well. We only need to rotate on yaw. Yaw is actually rotating around, looking at different directions. So this is quick fix. If you spawn in his overlap, he will not overlap with you. So this is just kind of a bug, but don't mind it. Okay, so now you can see stuff works. He's actually he's swinging towards us, he's looking at us, well, he's jumping, his rotation jumps towards us, but it's something, and now he's actually trying to get there. So now, of course, the next step will be to go ahead and adjust the attack distance to maybe a smaller value, like 300, so 1 meter closer. Yeah. Okay, so one more thing you could do, of course, and one other thing is to try to interrupt his attacks if he sees that his target is not as far away as or as close as he needs to be. So if we move away, he should stop attacking and you know, try to approach us once again. But more or less, that's kind of the point here. With a really small amount of logic, we already have a guy who is kind of crazily attacks us like a, you know, deranged Sith warrior or whatever. So next video we will grasp finally the concept of health, and we will have at least some kind of dueling. And from there on, we have a lot of topics that we can explore in terms of how to make this fight more sophisticated and more interesting. So see you next video, like, subscribe, all this stuff. And thank you for watching. Bye bye.